You know, Vivek Ramaswamy is with us now. Vivek, you said Republicans lost in 2018, 2020, 2022 and 2023 under Ronna McDaniel, and you named her. But Trump was the leader of the party through those elections. Doesn't he share some responsibility for the losses?
Not in 2022 or 2023, Stuart. I think we've gotten into the bad habit of somehow pinning the tail on one man, that's Donald Trump, and I think that there's a deeper issue. The Republican Party, we need to define who we are and what we actually stand for. Is this the Republican Party of 2002? Dick Cheney and George Bush's Republican Party, which was well represented on that debate stage last night, fighting foreign wars on the other side of the world without taking care of American interests here at home? Or are we a party of the next generation that actually looks after protecting Americans in our own homeland? I have a different view. I'm from a different generation. My view is that the moral obligation of the U.S. president is exclusively to U.S. citizens here at home. I don't think that view should be controversial, but I think it's a controversial view on that debate stage and in today's Republican Party. But I think we have to define who we are and what we stand for. Once we do that, we're going to be successful. And yes, there needs to be accountability. We can't have 5 elections we lose without a change in leadership.
You called out Nikki Haley's daughter for using TikTok. She then called you scum. Why did you go after her family and her clothing? No woman's going to like that.
Well, I'm going to tell you, she called me 4-letter words in each of the last 2 debates, Stuart. The reality is this. The Republican Party has appropriately, I think, had scrutiny of Hunter Biden for years. I mean, you know, not only the media, but even Republican politicians correctly. In the last debate, she's actually saying that she said, I feel dumber every time I hear you speak. That's what she said, for using TikTok. The criticism wasn't of Nikki Haley's daughter. It was of Nikki Haley for being completely oblivious to where the next generation of Americans is actually getting their information. So my view is that we do better by showing up. Nikki Haley wants to go the way of censorship. I want to go the way of free speech. She wants to go the way of withdrawing from talking to young people. My point is, young people, even in your own family or on that next generation platform, we need to talk to them directly. Okay. She's on the other side, Nikki, is of this generational divide, and that's what I was pointing out.
Vivek, let me get this one in. Your home state, Ohio, voted to put abortion protection into the state's constitution. Now, abortions have become, I think, a winning issue for Democrats. Spell out your position on abortion, clearly, please.
My position is the Republican Party needs to offer a clear alternative. That's why we lost in my home state of Ohio. The left put up a constitutional amendment. Conservatives did not have an alternative, so people voted for what the left put up. Here's what we need to do. Codify greater protections that we stand for as pro-life conservatives for access to contraception, adoption, child care. And here's the big one that I talk about that no one's talking about in this race in either party. Greater responsibility for men. Put it in the law that if you're a man who has actually been genetically confirmed with a paternity test, you have greater responsibilities than exist in the law right now. Okay. That way we say it's not about men's rights versus women's rights. It's about human rights. I am sick and tired, Stuart, of losing on this issue. I think the old Republican establishment has led us astray with old talking points. I'm injecting those fresh views, and in my experience with voters, that will be a winning formula.
Vivek Ramaswamy, I'd like to talk to you all day, but I'm afraid we're absolutely out of time. We appreciate you being with us this morning.